In this video, I have consolidated all letter of explanation at one place. So look at the timestamp and you will be guided to the letter of explanation in particular if you are interested in any. Let's get into the video.
Letter of explanation. This document empowers you to directly communicate with the immigration officer and update about your situation, or you think that there is something which can be given more clarification so that the immigration officer is able to assimilate and understand things better. This reduces the chances of you getting a query from their end and also helps you with the express entry process being smooth. Now, in our case, we were in a little complex situation in few of the places and we used this letter of explanation to our best use. For example, in my case, I had a gap of 2 to 3 months of employment between two organizations, and one of my organization had shut their office completely. The other organization was acquired by a different organization. So these were the three scenarios when it came to my work experience. Similarly, in my wife's case, her current company refused to give a reference letter saying they don't issue to any of their current employees. And one of her previous organization, they also refused to give the reference letter in the format IRCC had asked for, saying they follow a standard format which they have. Now, you might also have these kind of issues. In addition, things like, say, when it comes to proof of fund, having a gift deed, how do you explain? Or you have a situation where your police clearance certificate is getting delayed. So, under these circumstances, letter of explanation is the document which will help you to put across your point to the immigration officer. So, in today's video, what I'll do is I will share the actual scenarios we both were into and how we made our letter of explanation. And this will give you guiding information and you will be able to understand the logic with which you will feel confident that in case you have any situation, how to put across the point and make sure that you have all the required information made available to the immigration officer. But before we proceed with the further video, in case you are new to my channel, please go ahead and press the like button as well as subscribe. I make videos related to Canada immigration the way you want to know, and I also share my experience here as a new Canadian permanent resident. So before you forget, I'll give a pause of 5 seconds so that you can go and subscribe. I hope by now you have subscribed. Thank you for that. So without wasting much time, let's go to the computer screen where I will share the letter of explanation format which we used. Let's go. Okay, on screen you see this letter of explanation document. We made a 2-page document which was just plain document, no notarization or even our signature, just a salutation. Okay, and let's go on top. It started with the date so that in case we follow up with any letter of explanation in future, we can keep a record, and then heading as letter of explanation and then the context. For ease of understanding and further clarity on my permanent residency express entry application, please find below few key points explained in detail. For the primary applicant, which is my wife, with related to her work experience, at 2 places she was having challenge. So the heading was given with the company name so that the immigration officer knows that what it is related to, and then the situation was made to understand. My current employer does not issue employer reference letter for immigration purpose for their current employees. Hence, I am submitting letter issued by the company for my certified financial analyst CFA membership and exam. So for people who are in finance industry, this is one of the very much recognized certification, and in case someone is giving that exam, they have to go through getting these document where the roles and responsibility, everything is given. So my wife, she used this certificate instead of the reference letter from the company, which captures detail of my job responsibility, designation, salary and start of service date. Further, I have also uploaded my payslip for reference. Also attached is the email where they have communicated that they cannot issue reference letter. So you see, my wife, she had made a communication with the company. She has that mail, and then for substantiating her work experience, she submitted this document where most of the details were captured in the manner what IRCC wanted. Okay, so this was one case. Now the second employment, my previous employer has communicated that they can only give reference letter in company standard format, and that does not list the job duties as asked by IRCC. Hence, to complement this letter, I am sharing joining letter, promotion letter, salary, start of service, date and last 3 months payslip. Also, I have given detail in the remark below. I am also sharing the email communication with company. So here she is clearly defining that she communicated and company has responded in email. If that is available, it is better to be put so that the loop is closed. And since the company said that they have a standard format in which they will give and that did not capture the details what IRCC wanted, she made this table and she gave all the reference document. So the period is mentioned, what her designation was, and document uploaded online, employer reference letter and appointment letter. Then for this period, her designation, employer reference letter, which is the same document, confirmation letter and appointment letter. So usually you know that after you join, after a few months you get a confirmation letter. So that was attached, and clearly it was mentioned, point number 4 of page 8 of uploaded PDF document states that this designation would be promoted to this designation on confirmation of employment after 1 year of appointment. In addition, attached are the increment letter showing my designation. So here she has given a clearer picture that while the company has not given in the format what is required, she has made an endeavor to give as much information as possible with which the immigration officer can analyze. Now, for the third designation, employer reference letter, which is the same letter, and the promotion letter. So that was attached. So that gives clarity that she was in what all designation and what were the documents which are corresponding to that. Now, when it comes to dependent spouse, which is my case, I was working in an Indian government organization. Now, there they don't give any relieving letter. So here it was mentioned that served in the organization as the designation and the start date as well as the end date and how many years. And then the statement was made that since this organization only gives release document, same document has been uploaded online as reference letter for your perusal. Now, with related to release document, I am giving a context that these are the page where the details are available. Document issued by the organization covers detail of service, including start date of work as well as end date of work and the designation. Now, in my case, the letter template did not have the job duties listed. So I on my own wrote the roles and responsibility and said, since it is not mentioned in the document, I am enlisting my role for reference, which is aligned to the NOC job code. So here the details were given by me, which is a self-declaration. Okay. Now coming down, you see a particular organization, when I joined them, immediately after a few months, this organization was acquired by a different organization and then they rebranded the company. Okay. And what I did, I uploaded the relieving letter where the change of this company has been mentioned. Okay. That upload reference document, I made a mention that this is the document which I have uploaded. Now, later on, this company completely closed. So there was no way I could go and get a reference letter. However, I had the joining letter and promotions and other details. So those details were uploaded. In addition, what I did was I attached the news article of this opening, rebranding and closing of business on the prominent website, which is basically newspaper or website for the reference. And I shared the link, what you can see here in this fashion. So this gave about the rebranding and this gave information on shutting down the business. So when I attached these links, these were linked from leading newspaper or website which are of international repute. So for the immigration officer, I had given link with which he could go and verify it. So that's how I covered these aspects. Coming to gap in employment, which was in my case. So what happened was, when I was transitioning from my government service to corporate, it took some time, about 2 to 3 months, before I could join a corporate organization. So I mentioned those dates where the gap of employment was, and then informed them that took release from the organization and was transitioning into corporate, was preparing for career transitioning, interviews and certification. And it took about 3 months to find a corporate job. And then, since my wife was the primary applicant, it was made in her name. So you see, yours sincerely, just the name, not even a signature. So that's the document how we made. So friends, in case there are situations where you want to update about proof of funds, say you got a gift deed, then this letter of explanation comes handy. Or say there is going to be a delay in police clearance certificate, then it is better to update through this letter of explanation. So this is a very good document which you can use to communicate with the immigration officer. In my case, since I was there in the government service, I was asked 3 times additional queries with related to the same organization. And all I did was to be as transparent as possible and give what is getting asked. The format was given by them. I just filled those details and sent back to them with all the required information.
When you're inviting your parents to Canada to come as a visitor, that is on visitor visa, one of the important document from you is letter of invitation that adds in their favor to go through the visitor visa application process. Whether you are on work permit, you're a PR citizen, no matter, this letter of invitation is a must. And this is the exact letter of invitation which was submitted recently for my parent, and April 3rd, this was sent. By April 22nd, approved visitor visa was in the hand. So I'm sharing the exact document, the idea behind writing this letter, and you will be able to customize on your own with the logic what you have and whatever reasoning you had. So I never use any paid representative when I'm doing any of my interaction with IRCC. The website is simple, straightforward, and as long as you give them the required input, required document, there is no reason for the visa to get rejected. Let's come to the letter of invitation, and here the heading clearly mentions who is the invitee, date, and to visa officer, Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada. And then it says invitation letter for visitor visa application. I, the invitee name, okay, would like to invite my father's name. So each of the person or the parent will have a separate letter like this. So for father, this will be the one. If mother is coming, this will be the one. Same with brother, sister, whoever it is who is coming to my home in Brampton for a stay from, the duration is mentioned, before he returns back to his home in India. I'm writing this letter to support of his visitor visa application. Now this part, my father is a seasoned traveler with extensive travel across globe, except for Canada, where I have settled and made my home over past 5 years, having immigrated under Express Entry Federal Skilled Worker Program and now citizen. So this again you can customize. If parents have not traveled, you can compensate with, if your parents are a government employee, retired government employee, and they have something like the central government contributory health scheme where everything is taken care for free, including medicine. It's a great case to have, because there is a motivation to go back and not suffer here by paying more and staying in Canada. So it is making the intention clear and having those documents in hand. This is done. I have integrated into Canadian society as an IT professional, and therefore I am enthusiastic about sharing my Canadian experience with my father and creating cherished memories together, exploring Canada's natural beauty and parks. My father's purpose of visit is solely to spend quality time with me and my family. So then here it is said that the address will be my home address throughout the stay, and father's detail like name, date of birth, current address. In case current and permanent is both same, just have one.
then relationship, purpose of visit, duration of stay. Let's come down. Accommodation, the address is given, and don't worry, this is not my actual address. Then coming down, the detail of son, name, date of birth, address, citizenship status. If it is not citizenship, work permit or permanent residence, then the proof, that will be the document, which will be the photocopy, and other member of family, household, wife and son, both Canadian citizen. So whatever it is, that gets mentioned. And then I affirm my full responsibility for my father's throughout his stay in Canada, guaranteeing his adherence to all immigration laws and regulation. Furthermore, he possesses sufficient fund to cover all associated expenses. In case you're going to cover all the expenses, be direct and truthful. So, and show the sufficient fund. Your intentions are made more clear that you are going to take care while they are there. Also, I'm mentioning, importantly, his past international travel have consistently demonstrated compliance with immigration law and regulation of each respective country. Okay, so just customize based on your situation. Then the part to enclose document that includes proof of status in Canada, evidence of financial support, that is from you if you are supporting, and this is to support for invitation letter. So also writing, should further documentation be required, please let me know. I kindly request you to consider my father's application favorably and grant him a visitor visa for Canada. My family and I eagerly anticipate the opportunity to spend quality time together with my father in. And then I have enclosed the following document to support my father's visa application. That is the Canadian Citizenship Certificate, Birth Certificate to establish father-son relationship, and then proof of fund, that is Canadian bank statement. So these are the documents. Thank you for your time and attention to this matter. Sincerely. So this will be each made for father separate, mother separate, and then follow up with document. Certificate of Canadian citizenship, that will be attached here. If it is PR or work permit, that will get replaced here. So here's citizenship front page, back page, and then birth certificate, followed by proof of fund from the PAC account statement. And you can take a statement snapshot, just open your bank account online banking and take a snip from the summary and paste it. That should do to show what your current proof of fund is. And this is the document which will go from you. So there is a comprehensive video on letter of explanation where this invitation is also part of that explanation, and there the parent is submitting additional documents. I'll not go much in detail. With this, your letter of invitation is ready to be sent to your parent to attach along with their visitor visa application. In case you still have any questions, please use the comment section. I'll be more than happy to direct you to the right resource on Canada government's official website. So in today's video, we will see letter of explanation for parents who are coming on visitor visa. This is one of the most important document. This is one document which must be utilized to make your intention clear of why you are coming to Canada. When I say you, it's the parent who is coming to Canada. This is the exact same template which was used for our parents. We applied on 3rd of April and within no time, the approval came. So I'm sharing the exact same template. You will be able to customize and build logic once you know what exactly has been done. And I have never ever taken any assistance of paid representative because the IRCC website is so simple and direct, be it PR while applying for this visitor's visa application, or even when I was doing the Canadian citizenship, I did everything on my own. And as long as you are able to give all the required document to IRCC, there is no reason why they should reject your application. So it's all about making your intention clear. Do watch this video because I'll be giving specific tailored input. That way you know how to build logic and give your intention to IRCC. So this letter of explanation has date when it is written, and then applicant's name. Here the applicant is parent. The parent is writing this application to whomever it may concern. And I'm writing to apply for visitor visa to Canada to visit my son. Whom is he visiting? That is mentioned. a Canadian citizen residing in Brampton. The residency status is mentioned. In case it is PR, here it will be permanent resident. If it is on work permit, open work permit, closed work permit, that will get mentioned, and where the person is residing, the son is residing, that is mentioned. I'm not covering the visitor visa application for parents whose children are student in Canada, because that's a different take altogether. So if you want a video on that, let me know. I can make a video on that with all the logics, what will be applicable. And then continuing, my purpose is to spend quality time, family time with him and my grandson. So it's direct message, what is the purpose, as well as to explore Canada's natural beauty during my stay, if their schedule permits, and of course, if they have money to show me around. Okay, jokes apart. Enclosed with this letter, please find the necessary supporting document. So some of the documents what you see here has already been attached in the visitor visa application. The link will be in the description, the video on how that online application looks like, how that gets filled, and even there this attachment has gone. So you will see those references here, like letter of invitation from my son. You see here there are almost 11-page document. So other than letter of explanation, there are other documents which are attached in this document. So letter of invitation from my son, Sanjay Kumar Singh, which has the following attachments. Son's letter of invitation has what all attachment? Son's Canadian citizenship certificate incorporated within the document, page 4 to 5. So if you go to page 4 to 5, this is the document you will find. In case it is work permit, son's work permit, son's PR, that will come here. Then the birth certificate. So birth certificate establishes relationship as a father and son. Then son's CIBC bank account fund. So which is the proof of fund, which again is on page 7. So 5, 4, 5, 6, 7 is for son's letter of invitation and the attachment. Then my India passport with visa of France. This was uploaded online in IRCC account with the application. It is just being mentioned. No attachment will be made available here on this document. You don't want to make this letter of explanation into a huge document. You want to keep it short. You want to keep it direct to the IRCC agent to go through the document with ease. Okay. So then my proof of fund bank statement. Again, this has been uploaded on IRCC account. Then comes my India house property tax document. Here the house property tax gives an indication that there is some stability back in India and you have a shelter where you'll go back. My India house insurance document. Not everyone in India have their house insurance. If you have, just attach that. So I'm saying India, it could be for any country. Okay. And then let's come down. I assure you that I will adhere to all Canadian law and regulation applicable for visitors. Further, I will abide by terms of visitor visa and will depart Canada upon expiration of my visa. Moreover, I am well traveled and have always adhered to authorized stay in respective country. So in our parents' case, they have traveled multiple countries and the entry and exit has happened within whatever visa timeline was. So they have those documents to prove that they're not going to overstay in Canada. So it's easy. Now, in case your parents, I'm again giving example of India, but it could be for any country, if they have been working in government jobs, okay, like in India, once they retire, they have pension to take care lifelong. And then in addition to that, they have something called as central government contributory health scheme, where the hospital, whichever hospital they go, they get the treatment and medicine for free. If your parents have that, you can attach that CGHS document, and that goes on to prove that it is better to go back to India for the medical treatment than be here, pay for the medical insurance, and where there are long waiting period for you to go and visit doctors. So why to put parents in duress? By showing that they have this medical coverage back home, it makes the case, or it gives an input to the IRCC agent that they are better to go back to their home country to get the treatment done free of cost rather than paying money here. So those kind of logics can be built. Then thank you for considering my application. I look forward to opportunity to visit Canada and spend time with my son. Then yours sincerely, and the signature is not required since it is going to go as a digital copy. So once this is done, let's come down to page 2, and this is the letter of invitation from son, date, and it is addressed to the Visa Officer, Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada. Dear Officer, subject is invitation letter for visitor visa application. I, Sanjay Kumar Singh, that is son, would like to invite my father Ajay Kumar Singh to my home in Brampton for a stay from when to when that stay is intended, that is written here, before he return back to his home in India. I'm writing this letter to you in support of his visitor visa application. So my father is a seasoned traveler with extensive travel across the globe, except for Canada, where I have settled and made my home over past 5 years, having immigrated under the Express Entry Federal Skilled Worker Program and now a citizen. I have integrated into Canadian society as a IT professional and therefore am enthusiastic about sharing my Canadian experience with my father and creating cherished memories together, exploring Canada's natural beauty and parks. My father's purpose is to visit solely to spend quality time with me and my family. Okay, then my father will be financing his entire trip on his own and plans to return to his home in India after his visit to Canada. Below are his details. So in case parents can't finance the trip, then in that case, you will have to show that you will be financing the trip. Keep it clear, keep it straight. Then name, date of birth, current address. If current and permanent address are same, then just keep it one. Relationship father, purpose of visit, family reunion and tourism, duration of stay, mention the duration of stay. That has to be less than 6 months. And the accommodation address where they will come and stay. For each of the parent, similar letter will get made. And now we will come to the next part regarding me, son, post, name, date of birth, address, citizenship. Again, here you can customize. Then the proof. Then other member of my family, oblique household, wife and son, both Canadian citizen, or mention whatever the status is. I affirm my full responsibility for my father throughout his stay in Canada, guaranteeing his adherence to all immigration law and regulation. Furthermore, he possesses sufficient fund to cover all associated travel, have consistently demonstrated compliance with immigration laws and regulation of each respective countries. Enclosed are the necessary document, including proof of my status in Canada and evidence of financial support to support the invitation letter. Should further documentation be required, please let me know. I kindly request you to consider my father's application favorably and grant him a visitor visa for Canada. My family and I eagerly anticipate the opportunity to spend quality time together with my father in Canada. And then the enclosures to support the document for the visa application, Canadian Citizenship Certificate. So here it will be your work permit, PR or Canadian certificate, and mention the page numbers. Birth certificate, again it was mentioned by father also, and my proof of fund. Here the proof of fund of the person who is in Canada. Thank you for your time and attention to this matter. Sincerely, your. So this part is done. So far 3 pages have been covered. And then once we come down here, okay, you see here the citizenship certificate here for the son. So certificate copy will be pasted here. And if you don't know how to paste the document, in case the citizenship certificate is in the PDF, you can just open the PDF and open the snipping tool. And with that snipping tool, you can just take that image, copy, and then come and paste it like this. Okay. So you will be able to paste it and arrange it. So citizenship front page, then the next page has the back page of citizenship certificate. In case yours is work permit or PR, you do attach that copy, and then followed by that birth certificate, and then for the proof of fund, again from your Canada bank account, just go to your bank statement and snip it, copy it, and paste it here. And then once we come down, house property tax document, in case you have that. Next is the house insurance document. pages. So you see here, each page gets pasted here. So anything which can go as a document will come here, and you can convert this into PDF file just by going here and saving as PDF file when you're saving the file, and you can upload that document along with the visitor visa application. So in the application section where this has to be uploaded. It's a simple process, guys. In case still you have any question, doubt, please use the comment section and I'll be more than happy to share my experience. And in case it looks overwhelming, it is always good to seek some professional guidance, and then a paid representative makes sense. If you can do everything on your own and provide everything what is required, then you can directly do this with IRCC. It's cost effective and you know what exactly you're giving. Letter of explanation is one document which I have used during my PR process, during the citizenship process, during applying for visitor visa process, during the grandparent and parent PR program process. And there is no set format which I have used. I have tried to put logic. I have tried to give where if the documents are missing, I have tried to give alternate document and detailed explanation why the document has been not submitted. And if the document has been submitted and I feel that a little more explanation helps, I have done that. That way when someone receives and someone is going through, they have adequate information to take right decision. So what I'm sharing is my personal experience, and you must do your due diligence when you are doing anything like this. And if you are in doubt, always seek a professional guidance. Don't rely on someone like me who is on internet coming and sharing personal experience. And in today's video, I will show you how I covered the missing birth certificate explanation. So I give a heading like letter of explanation. This makes it clear what this document is, then the date when it is made, and if it is primary applicant's name. If it is secondary applicant, write secondary applicant and then name. And if UCI number is there, I always make sure to make an entry. If UCI number is not there and it is getting uploaded with the application, I just leave it blank. And then to whom it may concern. This is the heading part of it. Coming to the explanation for the missing birth certificate. So here in this case, in India, it was not a practice earlier to have a birth certificate. And it was not until later years where birth certificate was made mandatory. So instead of birth certificate, there are supporting document which has been given, and let's go through the letter of explanation. I do not possess a birth certificate as this was not mandatory at the time of my birth, and I was born in a village where the practice of registering birth was not common. The first official accounting of my birth date was done at the time of joining school. That is what usually would happen. And however, my date of birth is duly recorded in my pensioner photo card. So that's a government issued ID card which includes my name, address, photograph and critically my date of birth. This document is recognized and trusted by all government and non-government entities in India for birth date and other identity details verification purpose. The pension photo card issued by central government is signed by a gazette officer and undergoes thorough verification process every year, ensuring its accuracy and authenticity. So if you know how the government pension work, every year you have to tell that you are alive. So there is a verification process which happens, and of course all of the detail what is mentioned is recorded in those documents. In addition, my passport and school leaving certificate also has my date of birth mentioned, which matches the date on pension photo card. So passport, school leaving certificate, pension photo card, all three matches the date of birth. Furthermore, my son, who is a Canadian PR or Canadian citizen, and my sponsor for the PR has provided the same date of birth during the PR process. So when the process was happening, be it PR, be it citizenship, parents' detail are asked, and there all this detail was mentioned. I have attached a scanned copy of my pensioner photo card, school leaving certificate in supporting document, birth certificate section. I hope this explanation clarifies any concern regarding my missing birth certificate from the PR application. Please feel free to contact me if you need any further information or documentation. This is the explanation of what has been given, and again there has not been any further query, there has not been any concern, anything from IRCC's end till date, and the only query what IRCC came back was with the outdated form which was filled, and I have made a separate video on that. So all the things which I have covered in letter of explanation have not had any issue from IRCC's side. Also, in my case, I have not submitted any notarized affidavit. All I have done is back it up with all the documents that I have, and if there are things which are consistent, highlight those in the letter of explanation. So friend, this is how I gave the letter of explanation. I hope this gives you an idea of what is happening. Thanks for watching. Letter of explanation is one document which I have used during my PR process, during the citizenship process, during applying for visitor visa process, during the grandparent and parent PR program process. And there is no set format which I have used. I have tried to put logic. I have tried to give where if the documents are missing, I have tried to give alternate document and detailed explanation why the document has been not submitted. And if the document has been submitted and I feel that a little more explanation helps, I have done that. That way, when someone receives and someone is going through, they have adequate information to take right decision. So what I'm sharing is my personal experience, and you must do your due diligence when you are doing anything like this. And if you are in doubt, always seek a professional guidance. Don't rely on someone like me who is on internet coming and sharing personal experience. And in today's video, I will show you how I covered the passport missing as an explanation. So I give a heading like letter of explanation. This makes it clear what this document is, then the date when it is made, and if it is primary applicant's name. If it is secondary applicant, write secondary applicant and then name. And if UCI number is there, I always make sure to make an entry. If UCI number is not there and it is getting uploaded with the application, I just leave it blank. And then to whom it may concern. This is the typical, the heading part of it. Coming to the explanation for valid passport missing in generic application form. And I have also mentioned the section 4. So here, when applying the passport, what was there had expired, and to apply for the new passport, it would take time, and had to submit the application within a prescribed timeline. So the application was submitted without upload of passport. And here you can see subject explanation for valid passport missing in generic application form, section 4. This has been clearly mentioned. That way the person who is looking at the document knows what this explanation is for. So I'll just go over what is written here, and that will give you an idea of how everything is getting covered. I'm writing this letter in connection with my application for Canada permanent residency under parents and grandparents sponsorship program. In this regard, I currently do not have a valid passport and have already begun the process of reissuance of passport with passport issuing authority in India. I'm hoping that my passport will be reissued soon within next month or so, after which I will immediately upload it to my PR application portal. So usually in India, the process is nowadays streamlined. After the application is given, within 10 to 15 days, the passport comes. Now, what happened here was, again, this was an oversight, not looking at the passport's expiry date. And when this application was getting filled, that is the time when it was realized that the passport has expired. So this gives an update that I'm going through the application process. I'm providing this explanation to ensure transparency and to avoid any potential delay in my PR application process. I hope this letter adequately explains the circumstances regarding the missing passport from the PR application and the steps I have taken to address it. I am dedicated to ensuring that all aspects of my application meet the required standard, and I am willing to provide any additional information if needed. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I look forward to continue with my Canada PR process. So this was the letter of explanation which was given, and if you see here is that as soon as the passport is available, that will be handed over to IRCC. And as I said, in India the passport process is very streamlined nowadays. Within 10 to 15 days the passport was there in the hand, and using web form the passport was uploaded. And till date there has not been any concern, any flag from IRCC. So this is the update.
Letter of explanation is one document which I have used during my PR process, during the citizenship process, during applying for visitor visa process, during the grandparent and parent PR program process. And there is no set format which I have used. I have tried to put logic. I have tried to give where if the documents are missing, I have tried to give alternate document and detailed explanation why the document has been not submitted. And if the document has been submitted and I feel that a little more explanation helps, I have done that. That way, when someone receives and someone is going through, they have adequate information to take right decision. So what I'm sharing is my personal experience, and you must do your due diligence when you are doing anything like this. And if you are in doubt, always seek a professional guidance. Don't rely on someone like me who is on internet coming and sharing personal experience. And in today's video, I will show you how I covered the name of the sponsor missing in the birth certificate. So I give a heading like letter of explanation. This makes it clear what this document is, then the date when it is made, and if it is primary applicant's name. If it is secondary applicant, write secondary applicant and then name. And if UCI number is there, I always make sure to make an entry. If UCI number is not there and it is getting uploaded with the application, I just leave it blank, and then to whom it may concern. This is the heading part of it. Coming to the explanation for sponsor's name missing in birth certificate, supporting documents, part A, you can see this is the third explanation which has been given. So missing birth certificate, missing passport, and then not having sponsor's name. So just to give you a background, in India, when a child is born, typically immediately the name is not given in the birth certificate. So it is mentioned as son or daughter of so and so. That's how it is, because in India we follow tradition where we would, after the child's birth, we would look at numerology, astrology, and then come with the name. So here let's go through the explanation. I'm submitting this letter to clarify details related to my only son Gopi Krishna (bracket sponsor), whose name is missing from his birth certificate. His birth certificate, while it clearly mentions his gender, date of birth, place of birth, etc., does not explicitly mention his name. This was a standard practice in India for birth record during those years. However, in all other official document of Gopi Krishna, our relationship as parent and child is recorded clearly, which solidifies his identity and our relationship. These documents include Gopi's old cancelled Indian passport. Gopi is a Canadian citizen. If Gopi would have been PR, then in that case, not a cancelled Indian passport but Indian passport. This document now cancelled following Gopi's Canadian citizenship. Now the Canadian passport does not carry parent's name, unlike India. Has mandatory section that includes the name of both parent, where my name is mentioned as his father. Although the passport is no longer valid, it was submitted to IRCC during Gopi's permanent resident application under the UCI number in 2017. So this information is already available with IRCC. So don't worry, this UCI number is a fictitious UCI number. I have not shared any detail of mine. Gopi's Canadian citizenship application. Furthermore, during his Canadian citizenship application under the above mentioned UCI number, Gopi had declared our relationship as well. So this is consistent. Okay. Then Gopi's senior school certificate. This certificate lists his name and explicitly mention me, Krishna Swami, as his father. So these are the document. These documents have been instrumental in previous official processes, including Gopi's Canada's permanent residency and citizenship application. Therefore, should serve as credible evidence of our family ties. I trust this letter provides the necessary clarification regarding Gopi's name missing from his birth certificate and our relationship as parent and child. Should there be need for further information or documentation, please do let me know. So this was the letter of explanation. Again, no notarized affidavit was made. This letter of explanation and the old cancelled Indian passport copy and the high school certificate were attached and sent along with this explanation. This is how I have done it, and again, so far IRCC has not come back with any questions so far, and the only question what they came with was related to the outdated form which was filled during the application process and sent, for which I have made a video and I have shown that as a human sometimes mistake do happen. So all I'm trying to do is bring in front of you what is happening.
Letter of explanation is one document which I have used during my PR process, during the citizenship process, during applying for visitor visa process, during the grandparent and parent PR program process. And there is no set format which I have used. I have tried to put logic. I have tried to give where if the documents are missing, I have tried to give alternate document and detailed explanation why the document has been not submitted. And if the document has been submitted and I feel that a little more explanation helps, I have done that. That way, when someone receives and someone is going through, they have adequate information to take right decision. So what I'm sharing is my personal experience, and you must do your due diligence when you are doing anything like this. And if you are in doubt, always seek a professional guidance. Don't rely on someone like me who is on internet coming and sharing personal experience. And in today's video, I will show you how I covered the father's date of birth missing in additional family information. So I give a heading like letter of explanation. This makes it clear what this document is, then the date when it is made, and if it is primary applicant's name. If it is secondary applicant, write secondary applicant and then name. And if UCI number is there, I always make sure to make an entry. If UCI number is not there and it is getting uploaded with the application, I just leave it blank. And then to whom it may concern. This is the typical, the heading part of it. Here in the explanation, you can see this is the fourth instance I have used letter of explanation, and this has a subject explanation for father's date of birth missing in additional family information, form number, and schedule A background declaration form number. So in the application section, the date of birth range starts 1900 onwards. So if the date of birth is equal to or greater than 01011900, then it accepts the date of birth. For someone who is born before that, because in the section here, additional family information, they ask about parents. And in some cases, parents were born before 1900, which was the case. Here, the explanation is, I'm writing to address a specific detail in my application regarding my father's date of birth. Due to system limitation, which did not allow entry of years before 1900, my father's birth year, 1892. So the birth year is 1892, but the system entry only starts after 1900. So what was done is, in the date of birth field, it was written as 01011900. That way the application goes through, and then I could not provide it in the online form. This date of birth was not allowed. I include this information here for completeness and accuracy of my application record. So this way I'm trying to cover and give an explanation in case they come back that the date of birth is not matching. This is how I have done it, and I'll keep sharing other details as and when it happens. So all the information I'll keep posting. Letter of explanation is one document which I have used during my PR process, during the citizenship process, during applying for visitor visa process, during the grandparent and parent PR program process. And there is no set format which I have used. I have tried to put logic. I have tried to give where if the documents are missing, I have tried to give alternate document and detailed explanation why the document has been not submitted. And if the document has been submitted and I feel that a little more explanation helps, I have done that. That way, when someone receives and someone is going through, they have adequate information to take right decision. So what I'm sharing is my personal experience, and you must do your due diligence when you are doing anything like this. And if you are in doubt, always seek a professional guidance. Don't rely on someone like me who is on internet coming and sharing personal experience. And in today's video, I will show you how I covered the missing marriage certificate. So I give a heading like letter of explanation. This makes it clear what this document is, then the date when it is made, and if it is primary applicant's name. If it is secondary applicant, write secondary applicant and then name. And if UCI number is there, I always make sure to make an entry. If UCI number is not there and it is getting uploaded with the application, I just leave it blank. And then to whom it may concern. This is the typical, the heading part of it. So as you can see, this is the point 5. There were few other explanation which were given, and you would have seen those videos. Specific to this, you see here, subject clearly mentioned what this is: explanation for applicant's marriage certificate missing in document checklist, the form number. So that becomes the heading. I would like to address the absence of my marriage certificate certifying my marriage with my wife, then wife's name. Unfortunately, the original marriage certificate is not available, as during our time, it was not mandatory and marriage were typically performed by local priests in presence of friend and family member in our village. So typically this is how the marriages would happen in those days, say 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and it was only around 2000, if I remember correctly, you can go and check online, this marriage certificate was made mandatory. Before that, most of the individuals, once they would get married, if they were a government employee, they would just go and update that I'm married, and government records would get updated that this person so and so is married and this is the date of birth. So that's how this is the date of marriage, and that's how every record thereafter would get updated. And if the person would go on pension, they would have the spouse detail recorded on the pension document. That was the case. Let's continue. As an alternate proof of our marriage, I am submitting several documents that consistently list us as husband and wife over the past 35 years. These documents include my pension book, central government health insurance plan, our joint bank account, all of which mention name of the wife as my spouse. Additionally, I am providing a notarized affidavit affirming our marital status and relationship. So in this case, got this notarized affidavit made to affirm that this married people whose name is mentioned and the date what is mentioned is true. So for the notarized affidavit, again, when you go to get a notarized affidavit done, you submit all the required document to the office, like pension book, whatever was mentioned, and then they make those correlations, and based on that, they get this marriage notarization done. That document was also attached. I trust this document will suffice to establish the validity of our marital relationship for purpose of this application. So this is how this explanation was given. Hopefully this gives an idea of how I dealt with this, and so far no issues with the IRCC, no questions whatsoever till date. This is how it was done. What to do if your company with which you worked in past has completely closed? How to update this information with IRCC? So in 2019, I was in a situation where the company with which I was working and I left, that company had completely closed. And not just that, when I joined this company, say this company name was XYZ Solutions Limited. And under this, I was part of EY division. After some time, this XYZ Solution Limited was rebranded as ABC Technology, and the division remained as it is, EY division. After I left, this company was still existing, ABC Technology, but this division was completely closed. So all documents what I had was related to this EY division. And when I was submitting this to IRCC, I did not want any guesswork to happen. So what I did, I wrote a letter of explanation where I mentioned period between which I was part of this company, and then I gave an explanation exactly what was written. I'm showing you the same thing except change of company's name and other details. Okay, so here ABC Technologies India, I joined this in say 2011, and when I joined, this company was XYZ Solutions and I was part of the EY division. And in 2012, after ABC Technology raised its ownership in XYZ to 100%, it rebranded as ABC Technology India. So I uploaded the relieving letter where the change of this company was explicitly mentioned. And also I had uploaded the reference document for the experience, and I mentioned this on which page this has been mentioned on the company letterhead. Again, this EY division of ABC Technology had permanently closed and it was not there since 2019. So now once it is closed, either I reach out to this previous company. When I reached out, they were not very responsive, and I had a time bomb where I had to submit these details. So what I did was I attached all the news article link which were there in prominent national and international news. So it included opening of company, when it opened. Lucky for me, this information was there in international news, which was even covered in US in some of the reliable news outlet. So I gave that link of opening, when the rebranding happened, and when this closing happened. And also, I gave the timeline when this entire thing happened. And with this information, as you can see, I had given all the reference links for them to go and check. Of course, these are right now dummy links, but you will get a sense of how everything was organized in this document, and I submitted to IRCC. There were no questions asked, and this is how I gave them enough information to run with my application. I hope you find this video useful. I was just like you, one of the applicant, and I thought I will share this my personal experience of how put logic in play. So you're self-employed and you're traveling to country for tourism, be it US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, any part of Europe or any other country. This format which I'm going to show you will make sure that you're capturing all the detail what is required when you're uploading your document for the visitor visa. And this one document will work across any country. This is the letter of self-employment which I have used every time I have traveled, and this is on the company letterhead. That makes it professional. Then comes the date and the country to which you are applying for visitor visa. If it is US, you write US High Commission Embassy. If it is Australia, Australia High Commission Embassy. And then if you know the address, you mention the address. So whichever country you are in, you would know where that location is, or you can just do some Google search. Once that is done, subject self-employment verification letter. Then dear sir and ma'am, you don't know who the High Commissioner is, so this is the standard one. I'm writing to confirm that I'm self-employed and to provide details regarding my employment status in relation to my visa application. Then comes the company name, company address, your designation. Make sure you're entering the right designation, and since when this company is functional. So that date gets mentioned. Then you give a business overview. So your company name, what the specialization is. This is where you can give a brief description of your business. If, for example, I'm in consulting business, so I give as much as input as possible on what I do, what my services are, and all those details. So this part covers the detail. Then as a director of the company, I'm actively involved in overseeing all aspects of business, including client management, project execution, and strategic planning. My role requires me to engage in briefly describe what your daily responsibility or key task is, and this letter serves to confirm that I am self-employed and to provide evidence of my ongoing business activity. Then please do not hesitate to contact me should you require any further information or clarification. Thank you for considering my application. Yours sincerely, your name, make sure you're entering the correct designation, company name, contact information, and the email. So this is a simple format. Here in keeping this format, you can build, you can add specific details which you think will help with the application. Once you're ready with the draft, you can convert this to PDF before you upload. And to upload, come here, file, then you click save as. Don't go for save as Adobe PDF, come to save as. Here, choose the location, browse the location where you want to save this. And once that is done, you see here, select PDF from here. And once you do this, you have two options: standard, publish online and printing, minimum size, publishing online. So you can check the size of the PDF, whichever is reduced size, you can use that to upload. So friends, I hope you find this video useful. If you have any question, please use the comment section and I will surely respond.